Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to our community update. I'm Mark Johnson, spokesperson for the COVID-19 task force here in Beadle County. Before we move into our discussion topics, I'd like to start with a brief update from the task force. The current update from the South Dakota Department of Health still shows 21 positive COVID-19 cases in Beadle County, with 19 of them who have recovered. There's 2,525 cases statewide, and there are only actually 818 active cases in the state of South Dakota. Beadle County is now considered minimal to moderate spread. The Department of Health has moved Beadle County to this category to the numerous days of no positive cases. Frequently, the Beadle County COVID-19 task force gets asked why businesses haven't been allowed to open back up like others around the state. The task force has been working on this, and a proposal has been provided to the incident commanders so it can be presented to their respected bodies. In this proposal, the task force is focused on information based on the facts and evidence while working in coordination with their local medical providers to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and supporting our local businesses. They have been working with the guidance provided from the President, the CDC, and the Governor of South Dakota. There is not a one-size-fits-all for a situation like this. What happens in Sioux Falls cannot be the same that happens for Cavor. COVID-19 is still present, and the task force has been working on those mitigation factors. Yes, we had a spike in COVID-19 cases, but since then, we haven't had any more positive cases. Only tier individuals could be tested following the Department of Health and CDC's guidelines. The state of South Dakota is working on being able to test everyone that is symptomatic. There is still a concern of community spread in Beadle County due to those individuals who are not experiencing symptoms and they could possibly be infected. As I previously stated, the Beadle County COVID-19 task force has made recommendations to the commissioners, and residents should be seeing changes. The responsibility of slowing the spread of COVID-19 still relies heavily on the citizens of Beadle County. There is a high level of personal accountability and personal risk tolerance that each member of our community needs to self-assess. This will be a personal decision and personal responsibility to decide what is best for your family, whether you decide to go someplace. Even when these changes go into effect, we will continue to encourage minimizing trips outside the home, reducing non-essential travel, and maintaining our social distance. If we're able to maintain these efforts, there won't be an increased infection rate. It will be the responsibility of each individual to decide how you will treat activities involving groups of people. If you fall into a high-risk category, you will be responsible to decide that risk to go somewhere or not. If the personal responsibility isn't taken seriously and warning signs start to appear, things very easily could be changed and we could be back to square one as we were on March 22nd. The Beadle County COVID-19 task force cannot stress this enough. If we as citizens can maintain our infection rate at a low level and take those responsibilities, we will be able to get through this together and sustain our future until we see a vaccine for COVID-19. We as a community have come together during this pandemic and shown our local businesses our community support. We ask that you continue to support them, and soon enough you'll be able to sit in a booth and reminisce. We have all had to make changes to our daily lives. Yes, it's getting nice out and people are getting stir crazy. Soon enough, we will be able to be together again. Until then, work on those projects that you've been ignoring. We can spruce up our homes in this challenging time and beautify our community during this time. Tonight, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock p.m., residents, communities, schools, and businesses are invited to go outside and let it shine. Shine for those who are sick and for those who are on the front lines providing critical care. Shine a light for our decision makers who are in uncharted territory. Shine support for our students who will finish this year at home and for their teachers making continual adjustments and working long hours to make sure learning continues. Shine strength for those working from home and those who do not have the option to work from home. Shine hope for those who are feeling despair and loss. The goal of the event is to put drones in the sky tonight and take photos from around South Dakota as they're letting it shine. For more details on this, you can visit Let It Shine South Dakota on Facebook. Let's light up Huron and let it shine to show our support for everybody that's facing this pandemic. Do have some updates from different branches from the task force. The rental assistance, employers are still encouraged to watch their emails for the assistance verification. This information will either come from the 211 helpline or from Huron Housing Authority. If your employment has been impacted by COVID-19, you should go to the helpline's website at www.helplinecenter.org/Beetle and apply. If anyone is in need of anything, you can contact 211 for information and resources. There have been 44 applications for rental assistance. Assistance has been distributed in the amount of just under $10,000 for Beetle County. The call center and testing facility, both facilities are still active. If you do have questions relating to COVID-19, you are encouraged to contact the call center at 353-6214. That is the update from the Beetle County COVID-19 Task Force. Today we have Lori Shelton joining us again, and she is going to talk about options for businesses to prepare for reopening.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. And thank you again to the Beetle County Unified Task Force. I know that you have a lot of work that you all have done behind the scenes, and we thank you very much for that. What I was going to visit with you about today is when our businesses prepare to reopen, what they should think about before they do reopen. And it's strategic to each business. So I'm just going to start off and take a few minutes to give you an update of some things that may help you when you make that plan. So first of all, you do want to make a plan. Take a few minutes, write it down, what your plan of action is going to be. You'll want to use that plan when you market your business being reopened so that you can show your customers and your staff that you are prepared for this and that you're concerned about their safety. When you look at reopening, you want to talk about, okay, what's my employees' staff force going to look like? Do I need a full force like I had before, or am I going to slowly reopen? How is that going to look? Am I going to stagger my employees being in there? And how many people, will it take to run my business? How many hours are you going to be open? Are you just going to be open full bore like you were before? Or make a plan if you think you're just going to gradually work into that. And do you need to train anybody? Are you needing to train your staff on what those safety protocols are? When you have a safety protocol, you're doing that for yourself, your business, and the people walking in the door. So you really want to make sure you have that plan. Your employees need to feel safe while they are there too. So have a discussion. How does that look for you and your employees when they are accepting customers in the door now? Are they worried about what the customers are going to give? If they have COVID and don't know it because maybe not being symptomatic, we don't know that. So what do you need to do to make you feel safe as a business owner and for your staff? And then you have to think about what those customers coming in the door are going to be. Some people may think, I'm not worried about it at all. Others are going to be more anxious about it, and everybody will handle it differently when they come in. So I really think it's important to give all of that some thought and to have it written out. When you're marketing that, tell people, this is what my plan is for keeping you safe when you come in. When you walk in my door, this is what I'm expecting of you. And the thing that you want to do is make sure, hello? Sorry, I think I lost you. I thought I had my charger plugged in and I don't. So give me 1 second. I apologize. Shoot. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So just make sure you're prepared, but you want to market that plan. I want to give a shout out to Julie Hoffman at East River Nursery. She and her team put together a great marketing plan. And what they did was, it's all written out on a board. It's out there so everybody can see. So you have this plan. You want to make sure that your staff is good with implementing that plan. That they're confident if somebody comes in and you have said, you have to put on a mask when you come in. Every business has the right to set guidelines for that, but make sure your staff is ready to implement that too, and to explain kindly why this is. And if we're the customers, we all take whatever risks that we take when we go into businesses. So we have to accept whatever that business has set up too. And if we're not comfortable with that, there are so many of our businesses that allow you to call in, make your orders online, and they'll put it together and deliver it to your curbside. So if you're a nervous Nelly about going into businesses, that is fine. That's how you can keep sane during this time. So don't be afraid to not go in the stores. Make sure if you need something from them, they have all done a great job as far as providing us that service with curbside service ordering online. But make sure the biggest thing is that you have a plan and market that plan. The other thing that you want to look at is social distancing. How are you going to look at that? Are your customers going to feel safe? We've seen a lot of places that had put up plastic shields. Is that what you need to do? And do you have those in place? Do you need to start getting those? What resources do you need to follow social distancing rules? And set those out for them. Make sure, if you want to limit the number of people in your store at one time, what's your plan going to be for that? You having somebody at the door counting them as they come in and saying, okay, no, we've got enough in here right now. Make that plan and respect that social distancing and promote that. Promote keeping 6 feet apart. We all know, and we've been to the stores probably, and they're like, all of a sudden somebody's closer than 6 feet to you, and they probably even have it marked out on the floor that you're supposed to stay that far away. Sometimes people just don't think. When we feel concerned about those things, you need to address that in a kind manner to our guests in our stores. The other thing you should do as far as your plan and preparing to open is, what's your cleaning schedule going to look like? People coming in, your consumers coming in, are going to notice if your store is clean. They're going to notice if it's organized and safe to enter. So make sure you're building that new cleaning plan and that you have all the tools that you need to do for that. And make sure, again, your staff is aware of what those protocols are. Train them on it. And don't be afraid if they're not following those. You are the one that's in charge if you're the business owner. And as an employee, it is so important to protect yourself and those customers as they come in your store. So follow those protocols. As your business begins to reopen, or maybe you've already started that, customers are going to look forward to being in your store. So they're going to look to the locations that are clearly marked that they're open and that they have that safety plan. So when you begin to market you are back to open for your business, make sure you follow it up in your safety plan that you have posted and what those protocols are. When you are reopening at the chamber, we would love to promote that you're open and this is what your plan is. So if you want us to share that out there, we can put that out as e-blast. We can put it out on our Facebook. We can share it on the Huron to Go page, but let us know what that is and people will feel more secure in knowing what your protocols are to start off with. You want to respect that process too. So the process of reopening is going to adjust. So if we reopen, the city gives the go ahead to reopen and things feel like they might be back to normal, things could change from there. If we start seeing spikes, be willing to adjust to what our leaders are doing to evaluate. They are putting a lot of time in to the thought process behind us reopening to try and keep our city as safe as we can. So just be willing to adjust as things change. And there are those people, as I mentioned before, who are ready for business as usual, but then there are those people who aren't. And we have to be cautious of all types of people, that everybody is going to feel differently about that and their safety. And that's one of the biggest things that we just need to be conscious of. We need to understand everybody else doesn't feel the same way we do. So how can we open up our businesses and try and be as willing to change because of these new circumstances? And ultimately, it's about keeping us all safe, not having us peak at a high time period so that our hospitals get overloaded, all of that if we get sick. But let's do things responsibly. Don't forget, just because stores are opening up differently, don't forget to use your hand sanitizers and to wash your hands and wear the face masks. Do whatever it is that will make you feel safe, make your staff feel safe, and make any customers coming in your door feel safe. Set out a plan and make sure everybody knows what that plan is, and don't be afraid to enforce that plan. That is what's going to make you feel better about that business owner. And if you're a business owner, you don't feel like you can run full bore into reopening, whenever it is that the city gives us that go ahead, don't be afraid to open it in your own time frame, because again, your peace of mind is more important too. We want you to be successful as a business. We want all of our businesses to be thriving. You also need to make sure that you are comfortable with what you're doing, but market it. Let people know what you're doing. Set those protocols up front so when you do reopen, that everybody is aware of that, and don't be afraid to enforce it. So if you've thought about it, maybe you want to rethink about what your plan is. I know that we're all anxiously awaiting to hear what the city and the COVID team has to say about when we can get back to somewhat normal. Again, it's probably not going to be like full out normal right now, but you need to have a plan as a business owner of what you're going to do. And then as the consumer, make sure you're respecting those plans. So that's what I have. I don't know if there's any questions that anybody has about this, but we do have different information that we've been receiving regarding how you can safely open up. And if you want something in writing, we can share that with you. So again, that's what I have to talk about. I'm going to give a plug though, Mark, before I'm done with that, is the Chamber is doing a gift card and give campaign. So if you purchase a gift card, send us that proof to the Chamber at cvb@huronsd.com. You can text it or email it to us. You're going to have an opportunity every Monday to win $25 in Huron bucks. But the good part is you're also going to be able to pick somebody else to give those here another $25 of Huron bucks to. So you can donate, you can give it to somebody else as goodwill, but it's one way that you can be out there supporting these businesses right now. And then the other thing that I was going to bring up is we're doing a customer service recognition on Facebook. And if you have received good service at one of these businesses, and please know that the businesses who have retained being open throughout this time, because they are essential businesses, they've been working really hard. They've been putting themselves out there in risk or harm's way, I guess, on a daily basis. And if somebody is giving you great customer service, put that out there on Facebook. Tell us what the employee's name is, where they work, and what they did to make you feel so good about that encounter at that store. So that's our Facebook campaign. We just want everybody to feel appreciated at this time, and we want everybody to know that this isn't easy that we're going through. We have to be patient and we have to be kind as we go through, because everybody, again, has different levels of feelings about what we're going through right now with this COVID virus going around and some of the things we don't know. So just be kind and be open to all these new ways that our businesses are doing business. They've done a great job, some of them, as far as helping us through this time with our restaurants and adapting to new situations. And I am very proud of our community of how we have gone through this time together, and it's not over, and we need to keep pushing to make everything work in the best and safest way possible. So that's what I have. Again, I don't know if there was any questions out there, but I'd sure be willing to answer them if there's anything that you're seeing out there, Mark.
Not specifically for anything that you've talked about. You have received some questions that I will answer here. I thank you for participating again, and we just want everybody to be aware that, and we've already discussed it, that a proposal has been provided to each respected body with the city and county commission, and they will work through their processes to make sure to come up with a solution for everybody. So I thank you, Lori, for spending time with us again today and kind of answer some questions that have came in. A couple of them are relating to parks and tennis courts. That will have to be addressed through the city commission or county commission as far as what they're going to do specifically. If they're going to address that in ordinance or how they're going to deal with that. So I don't have a clear answer on that, but it's something that will come out of their work sessions that they're working on and trying to come up with a plan there. Have a question about business regulations, or if this will be voluntary. It's going to depend on how the city or county commission set it up, whether it's in a resolution or ordinance, and what the, I'll put weight behind it would be if there's different fines that could be assessed or not. That's going to have to come out of their work sessions as well. And this one asks about a timeline for where they will be voting on something. I do not have a specific timeline. The city council and county commission do have their proposal, and they'll have to work through their steps as far as if they're going to need a first reading, a second reading, and before it will go into effect. So they will have to work through that. And another question is, the same thing with a timeline, but as I stated, they will have to work through their steps. The city and county commission have, state statutes that they do have to follow to make sure when they make changes to ordinances and enact ordinances. So there is a timetable there that they do have to follow. And that answers all of our questions. Today was a little shorter. I thank everybody that has tuned in and been spending their Friday afternoons with us as we go through this COVID-19 pandemic. And we'll be back next week, and hopefully we have some other news for you. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks, Lori.